Now, first off, I want to assure you that having doubt or even a little bit anxiety is totally normal and does not mean that you act out of fear. Really not. Fear-based action is way more bold and in your face. It looks like micromanaging. It looks like control freaking. It looks like forcing yourself, others, or things, forcing situations, sometimes even forcing your thoughts and emotions. Fear-based action is also looking towards the means to an end rather than the end itself. So for instance, if you want to buy something, instead of just focusing on that thing that you want to buy and how awesome that would be, you choose to focus on the money that you need to manifest first in order to be able to buy that thing that you want. Now, of course, there are things in your life that do take preparation and they do take investment in other forms of capital, like intellectual or social capital, in order to become ready to have that what it is that you want. Of course, sometimes we need to do some research, sometimes we want to hear other people's experiences and opinions, but those things do not belong to real action taking in the active unfolding creation. It belongs more so to the sifting and sorting. So when you are still at the stage of asking other people's experiences, researching, looking things up, learning, then you are simply not 100% clear on your desire just yet, and that's fine, so you don't need to worry about that. But fear-based action means that you are very crystal freaking clear on what it is that you want, and yet instead of allowing yourself to get inspired to take action, you are actively looking for things that you can do to make it happen. That is fear-based. Now, inspired action is a little bit of a funny thing because often we get inspired to take action that seemingly has absolutely nothing to do with the thing that we actually want to manifest. It's those seemingly random ideas that just plop out of nowhere into our heads, and then we just have to go and do it. And if somebody would ask us why, we don't actually really know an answer. We don't actually really have a reason. To give you a personal example, just last week I had the burning urge to ask a question in a Facebook group that I actually already knew the answer to. And even while I was typing my little post, I asked myself, Nis, why the hell are you doing this? You already know the answer. What's up? What, huh? But the inspiration was strong with me. So I just hit post, and then it turned out after only a few minutes, I met a person through this question that turned out to be a massive asset to a project of mine. So that's awesome, but I had no idea that this would be the outcome of it. And that's the fun part of the unfolding of our creations or our manifestations. We need to understand that we are actually not the ones who are manifesting. We are the creators. We are the architects, the designers. We created in our little head with our little imagination and our little emotions that are somewhat invested into that desire. And depending on our amount of resistance and depending on where the desire is even coming from, depending on our past experience towards that topic or with that topic, the universe then manifests, rearranges itself in a way where you get evidence for that what is authentically inside of you, your authentic self towards that situation, idea, topic, or thing or person that you want. Now, of course, in standard human society, we are not taught to think like that or to behave like that. We are taught to make it happen. And while we still need to participate in some way, shape, or form, it is vital for conscious creators to understand that about 98% of that manifestation, of that creation has already happened internally. And the last 2% are coming from the universe and other people and your inspired participation, not from your efforting and pushing and forcing and checking up and controlling and managing and demanding. You also need to understand that your human mind, even though you may be the smartest person on this planet, is absolutely incapable of perceiving all that is necessary for whatever manifestation to occur. Even if you're just manifesting something like a hot cup of coffee. If you actually think about where this coffee originated, that somebody needed to actually have the idea to plant that tree. Somebody actually needed to tend to that tree or plant. I just realized I have no idea how a coffee plant looks like. Somebody else needed to actually harvest the coffee beans. Another person needed to have the idea or the inspiration to roast them and then to grind them. And then another person needed to have the idea to create packaging for that coffee. And then these people needed to all come together to pack up the final product, and then another person needed to step in to ship it, and another person needed to create the store where it's bought. And there are so many people involved in just your freaking coffee, and I'm not even talking about the cup that you're drinking it with yet. Imagine if you had the task to control all of that, to manage all of that. You would go crazy. It's not your job. Thank God it's not your job. You don't need to worry about these things. So when you feel the need to force, check up, micromanage, control freak, and whatnot, you need to understand that it's because you have severe resistance towards it. And severe resistance towards something usually stems from having either experienced the opposite before or generally having a very low self-value, self-worth, and self-esteem. If you are on track to manifesting something that is based in expansion and you find yourself struggling a little bit with doubt or anxiety because maybe the thing that you want to create is so severely big compared to what you've created prior, then the best thing you can do for yourself is emotional detachment. Be the sky about it. But if you find yourself constantly wanting or doing the acting out of fear and your desire stems from contrast, the best thing you can do is to go general. Have general thoughts that feel good. Have general affirmations. Have a general, more widespread focused around the topic. And if you can't manage that, then don't think about a topic whatsoever. Go focus on something completely different. Concentrate on the areas of your life that already make you feel good, because there's already good things there. And then when you feel good, evaluate your self-concept and your history with that what you're trying to create.